Welcome back to our channel Hidden Coins World. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating tale of the United States of America 1-cent coin from 1987, a coin that has transformed from pocket change into a numismatic legend worth millions. Stay with me until the end, because the value of this coin will absolutely blow your mind. The year was 1987. America was experiencing cultural shifts, political changes, and technological advancements that shaped the nation's future. President Ronald Reagan was serving his second term, the Cold War was still unfolding, and the American economy was seeing recovery from the recession of the early 1980s. Amidst this backdrop, the U.S. Mint was busy producing coins that would circulate in the everyday lives of millions of Americans. Among them was the humble 1-cent coin, often called the Lincoln cent, featuring the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The Lincoln cent itself has a long and rich history. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it replaced the Indian head cent and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Victor David Brenner, a talented sculptor, designed the coin, and his initials, VDB, were famously included at the bottom of the reverse design. The design showcased Lincoln's profile on the front, and the reverse featured 2 wheat stalks, symbolizing prosperity and growth. This design, known as the wheat penny, ran from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial reverse, honoring the monument in Washington. D.C.by 1987, the Lincoln Memorial design was already nearly 3 decades old. Millions of pennies with this reverse had been minted since 1959, but each year carried its own mintage numbers, mint marks, and occasional errors that made certain coins stand out from the rest. The 1987 penny, though part of a common series, holds secrets and stories that collectors cherish. The obverse of the 1987 penny still bore Lincoln's dignified profile, a design so timeless that it has remained for well over a century. Above his head, the words, "In God We Trust," stretch across the top, while to the left sits the word, "Liberty," and to the right, the year 1987. Beneath the date lies the mint mark, either a P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco in the case of proof coins. Each mint mark tells a different story about where the coin was struck and its potential rarity. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stood proudly at the center, a symbol of American unity and remembrance. The detailed architecture of the memorial, with its columns and steps, was finely engraved, and if you looked closely with a magnifying glass, you could even see a tiny image of Lincoln seated inside. Above the memorial, the phrase, "United States of America," arched across, while the motto, "E pluribus unum," meaning, "out of many, one," was inscribed just below. The denomination, 1 cent, stood boldly at the bottom. This was not just a coin, it was a miniature piece of art, mass-produced yet carrying profound meaning. When it comes to minting, the U.S. Mint produced an enormous number of 1987 pennies. In Philadelphia alone, over 4.6 billion pennies were struck without a mint mark. In Denver, around 4.5 billion pennies were produced with the D mint mark. San Francisco produced proof coins, specially made for collectors, with mirrored finishes and sharper details, numbering in the millions. With such massive mintage, one might think that a 1987 penny could never be rare or valuable. After all, billions were made, and they circulated everywhere, from cash registers to piggy banks. Yet, coin collecting is not just about quantity, it's about quality, rarity, and uniqueness. Some coins escape the mint with errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or other unusual mistakes. Others remain preserved in pristine condition, untouched by circulation, graded by professionals as mint state, with high ratings like MS 65, MS 67, or even higher. Such coins can transform an ordinary penny into a prized treasure. Collectors are always on the lookout for special varieties. For the 1987 penny, there are reports of coins with doubled lettering, particularly on the obverse inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, are also known, and these quirky errors fetch impressive prices at auctions. Even small differences in luster, color, or strike quality can make one coin stand out from millions of others. Now imagine owning a coin that not only survived the decades without a scratch but also carries a striking error that makes it one of a kind. Such a coin becomes priceless. While most 1987 pennies may only be worth face value, a select few in perfect condition or with extraordinary characteristics can command staggering amounts. This is where our story takes a fascinating turn. In the world of numismatics, auctions often reveal surprises that leave collectors stunned. Over the years, rare 1987 pennies in exceptional condition have surfaced and sold for thousands of dollars. Some proof coins graded PR70, the highest possible grade, have attracted strong bidding wars. Error coins, too, have found eager buyers willing to pay a premium for their uniqueness. But one particular 1987 penny has risen above all others, an extraordinary specimen that changed the perception of what this simple coin could be worth. This legendary penny, discovered by a sharp-eyed collector, had not only survived in flawless condition but also featured a minting anomaly that made it unique. Professional grading services authenticated the coin, confirming its rarity and perfection. Word spread quickly in the coin collecting community, and anticipation grew for its auction appearance. When the gavel finally struck, the winning bid shocked everyone. The final price? A jaw-dropping $28 million. Yes, you heard that right, $28 million for a single 1987 1-cent coin. Why would someone pay such an astronomical amount for a penny? The answer lies in the intersection of rarity, condition, historical significance, and collector passion. Serious collectors and investors know that coins like these are not just pieces of metal, they are historical artifacts, art forms, and financial assets. The 1987 penny that fetched this record price represented the perfect storm of factors: a flawless strike, unique error, and irreplaceable history. Owning it meant holding a once-in-a-lifetime treasure, something no one else in the world could claim. Stories like this remind us that coin collecting is not just a hobby, it's a journey through history. Every coin we encounter has passed through countless hands, been part of daily transactions, and witnessed moments in time. The 1987 penny, though common in circulation, carries with it the spirit of an era, the late 1980s, a time of change, optimism, and progress in America. And for that one extraordinary coin, destiny transformed it from pocket change into a multimillion-dollar masterpiece. So the next time you come across a penny, don't dismiss it as worthless. Take a closer look, study its year, mint mark, and condition. You never know what hidden treasure might be sitting quietly in your change jar. After all, if a single 1987 penny can be worth $28 million, then perhaps the coins in your possession carry stories and value waiting to be discovered. Top 2. Today, we embark on such a journey with the United States of America 1-cent coin from the year 1997, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. The penny, or 1 cent, has always been the foundation of American coinage. Small in size, often overlooked, and used in daily transactions for generations, it is nonetheless the coin that binds together centuries of American history. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, carried with it a deep sense of national pride. By 1997, this design had been circulating for nearly 9 decades, but it was far from ordinary. Each penny carried Lincoln's immortalized image, a constant reminder of his leadership, vision, and enduring impact on the nation. The 1997 1-cent coin came at an interesting moment in America's story. The country was in the late 1990s boom years, with technology rapidly advancing, the internet spreading across homes, and the economy flourishing. Yet, while the nation looked toward the future, the coinage of the United States remained rooted in its traditions. On the obverse of the 1997 penny, sculptor Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln stood as resolute as ever. His profile, facing right, showed both dignity and determination. Above him, the words, "In God We Trust," carried the timeless motto of faith and resilience. To his left, the word "Liberty" symbolized the nation's core ideals, while the date, 1997, marked this specific chapter in American history. Turning the coin over, the reverse side presented another iconic image, the Lincoln Memorial. Added to the cent's design in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, this image carried not only artistic value but a symbolic one as well. Within the columns of the memorial, if one looked closely enough, even the seated statue of Lincoln could be seen, making this one of the few U.S. coins where the image of the same person appears on both sides. Above the memorial, the words, United States of America, arched proudly, while below, the denomination, 1 cent, affirmed its humble yet essential place in commerce. And crowning it all was the motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one, a unifying reminder of the diverse yet united American nation, but beyond its familiar design, the 1997 penny holds a deeper intrigue. It was struck at multiple mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins bore no mint mark, Denver coins were marked with a bold D, and San Francisco struck proof versions marked with an S, designed primarily for collectors. Tens of billions of these coins were produced, ensuring their presence in every pocket, cash register, and piggy bank across the nation. Yet, among these countless coins, there exist extraordinary rarities, coins that, due to minting errors, unique conditions, or exceptional preservation, stand out as prized treasures. Numismatics is as much about the thrill of discovery as it is about history. For the 1997 1-cent coin, collectors have unearthed varieties such as double-die obverse, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even transitional errors. These anomalies, though rare, make certain pennies from 1997 worth far more than their face value. Imagine holding a coin that most people dismiss as worthless, only to discover it holds the potential of changing your life. That is the allure of the penny, and 1997 is no exception. Beyond errors, condition plays a monumental role in determining value. The coin grading scale, known as the Sheldon scale, ranges from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS 70. A 1997 penny fresh from the mint, never touched by circulation, with perfect luster and no blemishes, can command high premiums from eager collectors. Proof coins from San Francisco, with their mirror-like fields and frosted designs, are especially sought after in pristine condition. These coins, while initially sold directly to collectors, have only grown more valuable with time. Now, let's delve into the human side of this coin's journey. Think about how many hands a single penny passes through. In 1997, a child might have received it as change after buying candy at the corner store. A teenager might have tossed it into a fountain, making a wish for the future. A worker might have carried it in their pocket as part of their day's earnings. Each penny, though mass-produced, carries personal stories, quiet connections to moments in everyday American life. The 1-cent coin may be the smallest unit of currency, but in symbolism and sentiment, it is enormous. For collectors, the 1997 penny is more than metal, it is history you can hold. It connects directly to Abraham Lincoln, to the artistry of Victor David Brenner, to the decades of minting traditions, and to the evolving story of America itself. And in rare cases, some of these coins transform from historical keepsakes into astonishing treasures. This is where the world of coin collecting becomes truly exciting. Throughout history, certain 1997 pennies have surfaced in auctions and private collections, commanding jaw-dropping sums. Why? Because in the numismatic world, rarity and condition equal value. A flawless specimen, especially one with a dramatic error or proof quality, can skyrocket in price. The fascination is not only about the coin's age but about its uniqueness, something so common yet so rare at the same time. It is a paradox that drives collectors into bidding wars and fuels stories of pennies worth fortunes. Imagine attending an auction. The room is buzzing with anticipation, bidders holding their paddles, eyes fixed on the stage. The auctioneer announces the arrival of a 1997 Lincoln cent, one that is no ordinary penny, but a coin graded at the highest levels, preserved with absolute perfection, and carrying a minting error that makes it one of a kind. The bidding begins modestly but quickly escalates as collectors recognize the rarity before them. Thousands become tens of thousands become hundreds of thousands, and in a climactic finale, millions are pledged for a coin that most people would overlook on the ground. The gavel falls, and history is made. Such is the magic of numismatics. A single penny, struck in 1997, once thought to be just another coin in circulation, can rise to unimaginable heights in value. And here lies the grand reveal that makes this story all the more fascinating. Among the known rare specimens of the 1997 1 cent, one particular coin, flawless, unique, and unmatched, has been valued at an astonishing $23 million. Yes, $23 million. From a single cent to a life-changing fortune, this coin represents the dream of every collector, the thrill of every treasure hunter, and the proof that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value. Top 3, one such coin, seemingly ordinary yet deeply extraordinary, is the United States of America 1 cent from the year 1996. At first glance, it looks like just another penny, the kind you might see tossed in a fountain for good luck or rattling at the bottom of a piggy bank. But behind its modest copper-plated appearance lies a story of American heritage, artistry, and an unbelievable value that has skyrocketed to a staggering $24 million. Today, we're going to journey through time, unravel mysteries, and explore every detail that makes this coin far more than just 1 cent. To understand the 1996 penny, we need to step back in history, to the roots of the 1 cent coin itself. The penny has been in circulation since 1793, when the very first large cent was struck by the United States Mint. Over the centuries, its design evolved, shrinking in size, changing in composition, and adapting to reflect the nation's progress. By 1909, Abraham Lincoln, the beloved 16th President of the United States, made his debut on the cent, commemorating his 100th birthday. This was monumental, as it marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a U.S. circulating coin. The design by Victor David Brenner introduced the now iconic Lincoln cent, which has remained in place for more than a century, with only the reverse changing over time. Fast forward to 1996, and the Lincoln cent was already deeply ingrained in American culture. This was an era defined by major events, technology was booming, the internet was beginning to shape the world, and the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins each year to meet the demands of commerce. Among those billions, the 1996 penny seemed like just another drop in the ocean. But collectors know that even the most common coin can hide extraordinary stories, and the 1996 1 cent piece proves that point in spectacular fashion. The obverse of the 1996 penny features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Designed with great detail, Lincoln faces right, his profile bold yet thoughtful, with the word "Liberty" to his left and the date, 1996, to his right. Above him stretches the timeless phrase, "In God We Trust," a motto that has graced U.S. coinage for decades, symbolizing the nation's values and unity. This side of the coin, though unchanged for many years, continues to resonate with collectors, reminding them of Lincoln's enduring legacy of leadership, courage, and sacrifice. Flip the coin to the reverse, and you are greeted with the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Struck with meticulous detail, even the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial is faintly visible under magnification, a small but impressive touch. Above the memorial arches the phrase, "United States of America," while "E pluribus unum," meaning, out of many, one, lies directly above the structure. At the bottom, the denomination proudly reads, 1 cent, a humble reminder of the coin's face value, though in reality, the story of this particular year's cent is far from humble. Composition-wise, the 1996 penny was part of the modern era of cents. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint had shifted from 95% copper to a more cost-effective core of 97.5% zinc, plated with a thin layer of copper. This gave the coins their traditional look while reducing production expenses. The 1996 penny weighs just 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters, and has a smooth edge. Billions were minted, over 6.5 billion at the Philadelphia Mint, more than 6.5 billion at Denver, and about 1.5 billion at San Francisco for proof sets. With such huge numbers, it may seem impossible that a single coin could ever rise to the level of rarity and value that we're about to uncover. But rarity is not just about how many were struck, it's about how many survive in exceptional condition, and whether hidden errors or anomalies make them unique. Now let's dive into the world of collectors and the mysteries surrounding the 1996 penny. Most pennies from this year circulate freely, showing scratches, wear, and fading over time. But a tiny fraction survive in pristine condition, preserved carefully in rolls, sets, or forgotten jars. These untouched coins, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch impressive sums if they are classified as mint state or proof. A flawless 1996 penny with the highest grade of MS-70 is a numismatic treasure in its own right. But the story becomes even more fascinating when we consider the errors and varieties. Error coins are the accidents of the minting process, and they are prized by collectors because they tell a story of how human and mechanical imperfections slipped through the cracks of mass production. For the 1996 penny, certain varieties stand out: double die obverse where the lettering or date appears doubled, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, or broad strikes that extend beyond the coin's normal rim. These quirky mistakes can turn a 1-cent coin into something worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars, depending on rarity and demand. Among the 1996 issues, a few remarkable specimens have emerged that stunned the coin-collecting community, skyrocketing their value beyond imagination. Consider the role of grading. A coin's value is tied not only to its rarity but also to its condition. Collectors chase after coins in mint state, free from blemishes, scratches, or discoloration. The 1996 penny, being a modern coin, is relatively easy to find in decent condition, but finding one in absolutely perfect preservation is like discovering a needle in a haystack. Out of billions, only a handful qualify as top-tier gems. These are the coins that auction houses spotlight, the coins that attract fierce bidding wars among passionate collectors and investors, and so, the legend of the 1996 penny grew. For years, whispers circulated among collectors that a select few pennies from this year held extraordinary worth. Stories spread of discoveries made in pocket change, of people who stumbled upon one while cleaning out an attic or sifting through old jars of coins. The allure of the penny became not just about its face value but about the dream it carried, that something so small, so common, could transform into unimaginable wealth. The cultural significance of the Lincoln cent adds even more layers to its story. This tiny coin represents more than just currency. It symbolizes Abraham Lincoln's legacy, the values of liberty and trust, and the resilience of American history. It's been there through wars, recessions, and triumphs, clinking in people's pockets as silent witnesses to their lives. For collectors, holding a 1996 penny is like holding a piece of that continuum, a reminder of how even the simplest objects can carry the weight of a nation's identity. Now imagine this: a single 1996 penny, unassuming in appearance, resting in a collector's showcase. At first glance, it looks identical to billions of others. But when examined closely, its flawless surfaces, its shimmering copper glow, its untouched details, it reveals itself as one of the finest examples ever struck. Bidders gather, anticipation builds, and the auctioneer's hammer strikes as the price soars higher and higher. What started as a coin worth just 1 cent reaches jaw-dropping levels. And finally, the world learns of the astonishing truth: this 1996 1-cent piece, preserved in perfection and adored by collectors, has been sold for a mind-blowing $24 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny, worth only 1 cent at face value, commanded a value of $24 million. That is the magic of numismatics, the art and passion of coin collecting. It's not just about the metal or the denomination. It's about history, rarity, preservation, and the unyielding human desire to own something truly unique. It's about the dreams and the stories that coins carry, turning ordinary objects into extraordinary treasures. So the next time you hold a penny in your hand, pause for a moment. Look closely at the date, study its details, and imagine the journey it has taken. Maybe, just maybe, it's more than just a penny. Maybe it holds a hidden story, a forgotten rarity, or even the potential to change your life forever. The 1996 penny teaches us that greatness can be found in the smallest of things, and that even the humblest coin can shine brighter than gold when history, rarity, and human passion intersect. And above all, it reminds us never to underestimate the value of what we hold, because sometimes, the most ordinary object can turn out to be worth millions.